Okay, so my final thoughts of this game, Planet Crafter. So I have been playing this game for the past 2 weeks. It launched probably a week and a half back on Wednesday, and I have been playing this since. Also, this thing changed. um, so I have been playing this game since then, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is an awesome game. There's lots of stuff to do and everything. So it's an awesome survival game. I will say that there isn't too much of danger in the game, apart from probably maintaining oxygen early game. Maintaining oxygen and food early game is your biggest concern. But once you sort of have that unlocked, once you have an automated way of getting water, once you have an automated way of getting food, like from food growers, etc., I think you'll slowly lose sight of that sort of risk. So that's there. Usually in survival games, you need to have some sort of risk or danger. Usually games like this, they have some sort of an enemy that you fight, some risk, like some hordes attacking your base or something like that. Usually you have that to sort of pose that risk and have that danger always lurking around the corner for you to pose some sort of challenge. But in this game, it's mainly resource utilization. Early game, it's oxygen and water. Mid game, it's still oxygen. Oxygen is still something that you have to manage. And even late game. Late game, I think it's mainly your inventory management. Inventory management is difficult. I was constantly filled with resources and I had to leave stuff behind. If you are like a perfectionist, if you want to like do everything perfectly and bring all resources that you find back to your base and stuff, it'll be a headache. You need so many storages, etc. So I guess that is some sort of a challenge, but it's not really a challenge. But yeah, but it is something. So yeah, so it's that sort of game. It's sort of a survival game in that sense. Apart from that, very late game, it's an automation game. There is a lot of automation to do. You can literally automate every single stuff. So if you just go through this list over here, so this is the auto crafter. Basically you come here, and if you see, these are all the stuff you can basically just automate it, and it's very easy. It's the UI is pretty simple. There isn't like too complicated stuff. Of course, there are some bugs here and there, but still, it's pretty simple that you automate it. And the way you automate it is also quite simple with the supply and demand feature over here. And there's priority, like from -1 to +5, I think you can set the priority, and it's pretty handy. So you can literally automate everything. I think I have automated most of the stuff, like 95% of the stuff I have automated. There's probably from some 5% stuff which I have not, like larva and stuff which you can automate, but I have not automated that, like the rare larva, common larva, uncommon larva. Like you can literally automate everything. Yeah. But it's really nice. If you really want to automate everything like 100% the game, you can do it. That's a cool feature of this game, and I really enjoyed it. I did dabble quite a bit, as we can see over here. I automated the entire food. I automated all the important resources. I even have some sort of automation over there, and there are like auto crafters all throughout the planet, which I have set up. Basically, we have drones which basically bring resources from all different parts of the world to my base, and sort of the automation is there. And once I did this, once I completed the automation, I think the game was really fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There was no lack of resources. I was always full with resources, like all my containers were full, and I was basically destroying resources because I had no place to store them. So I have destroyed lots of resources like that. But yeah, it's pretty good. And also, one thing this game does really well when compared to other games is the sense of progress, the sense of improvement or achievement in this game is massive. What I mean by that is, like, initially, for example, we start with, what is this? Tier 1 drill, which is basically 0.2 pressure and it takes 0.5 energy per second. And you put like probably around 5, 10. Let's assume you have like 5 drills put everywhere. And then you unlock the tier 2. The difference between these is insane. like this is 0.2 pressure, this is 1.5 pressure. So it's like around 7.5 of these drills is equivalent to like one of these drills in terms of pressure that it has. So you can just completely remove this and start putting one of these when you unlock it is a massive boost in your pressure buildup, and you can literally see it on the screen. So I had around 5 or 6 of these, and then I unlocked this. I just put one of this and I saw the screen. It started flying, the pressure started flying, and you'll literally see it. Even the terraformation index, it just starts flying. The same with heaters, the same with power, the same with literally anything else in this game. Anything that has tier 1, tier 2, etc., like veggie tubes, flower spreaders, gas extractors, etc., every single thing over here is like that, and it's awesome. So the sense of improvement that you get, or the sense of scale in this game is massive. And even in terms of like physically seeing how huge structures get is also was awesome. Like for example, the heaters over there, look at how huge they are. So are the pressure drills. It's awesome. The fact that you are able to build these massive structures and sort of go through with that is actually insane. Initially, when you build a heater, it's actually this small. And now, look at it. At the end of the game, this is how the heaters are. So it's nice to see that. And also, you don't have to build lots like 100, 200 heaters. Some games do that. Like in late game, the more heaters you build, or like the more stuff you build is basically the more stuff you get. But this game doesn't do that. In this game, you unlock a higher tier. Basically, you'll always be building the same number of stuff throughout the game. You'll probably build around 10 to 20 of the stuff throughout the game, but you keep upgrading those one after the other whenever you unlock it. And that's how the game progresses. And I really like that. It's sort of like, it's not the quantity of it, it's the quality of stuff you build, and it's enjoyable. It's very fun. You're always unlocking stuff. Early game, you do get lost a little bit. There are lots of stuff which unlocks very quickly, and for some people do get stuck over there. Like it's too overwhelming sometimes because there are so many blueprints which gets unlocked. So yeah, but still, I think we can. But I think there's a really good pace in this game. So yeah. Hello, Ruby Anderson. How are you? I'm good. Oh, I got another message. I guess it was nice of me to just go through the thoughts so that I was able to unlock some new message. Our monitoring indicates anomaly has been successfully destroyed. Use the departure platform. Yeah, okay. Yes. So yeah, and what else? Finally, I think I have covered most of the stuff. There is not much of like incentive for music in the game or anything like that. It's still there at some places, like some indication, some SFX, but I won't say it's actually music in this game. But it's there, some stuff here and there. There is some music going on, but it's not exactly music, right? So I won't comment too much on that. It's a indie game, sort of. 5 people made this game, so I'll give credit where it's due. I won't nitpick on like there isn't like too huge like music and stuff. It's sufficient, I think. And in terms of story, I was expecting a little bit more as to some concrete proof of exactly what happened to a couple of people that we were going through. Like for example, Iklas, Xyodan, etc. We finally see that they sort of became crazy, they sort of lost their mind and they probably died. But I would have liked a little bit more concrete proof. Probably it's there, probably I have missed somewhere while exploring, even though I think I was quite thorough, but probably something like their dead body or something like that, saying something like that. Because Xyodan, I think, was here like 3 years before me. So probably there has to be some sort of remains and stuff, right? So I would have probably preferred to see something like that, and it would have been nice. Apart from that, the concrete ending for Wardens was sort of there, although the first place for Wardens which we explored was over here. There was a cave over here, we explored that. That sort of So there was basically a spaceship, huge spaceship that we saw, which was at the end of the cave. And then there was coordinates which led me to over here. So over here, basically it was the defensive device, which we basically blew up at the end of this game now. And from there, it led us to somewhere over here, I think, or here, somewhere in this region. Basically, a door opened up and we went to the secret paradise, the warden's last city or something like that. And at the end of it, it was basically like a small cage of ecosystem. Basically, it was like a butterfly dome with bunch of butterflies. And with a concrete proof that finally, like an asteroid hit, wardens perished. Right, that was the proof. But I was expecting a little bit something of a grander nature when I went through that huge hall, like a golden clad hall. I was expecting a little bit of a grander sense, but I guess it was my own expectation which let me down. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more over there. In terms of story wise, it was totally fine. I mean, yeah, yes, you could have had a little bit more in-depth, better storytelling in that regards, but it's fine. I don't expect too much in that regards. It was decent enough. It was fine. Story was decent. It was good. It was entertaining. Yeah, and I had fun with that. Now the final main part of this game is like building stuff, and all of that was awesome. Like every structure that you build has its own signature take on it, and you just looking at the structure you can feel as to what it does. Like for example, water harvester, it can easily collect rain. Just looking at it you can see that. Portal generator, uh, rockets, and aquarium, tree biome, biolab. Biolab is over there, and then butterfly dome, etc. Like each of these, just looking at this, you can clearly see what it does and what it feels like. And I think they have perfectly grabbed that aesthetic of every single stuff that you build. It sort of captures that ethics, and it's pretty nice. I really like that. I think that's what grabs most people. It's like, it's beautiful. The world is beautiful. It actually becomes very beautiful as you terraform, and that's what grabs people. As basically when you are like terraforming the planet, as the stages grow, you physically see the changes on the map and in the world. Like you basically unlock, and I think that is one thing which this game does. I don't think I have seen anywhere else. The most that I have seen in some other games is basically when in some RPGs or something where you unlock some event, and because of that some new storyline progresses, or some story gets blocked, or some story basically somebody dies which you shouldn't have done, something like that. But in this game it's very dynamic in the sense that as you terraform, water level rises, ice melts, so you unlock new pathways. Slowly water level rises even more, you unlock even more stuff. Then some beautiful biomes are formed. You unlock some awesome loot which was hidden behind some things, and then you unlock some other different sort of like biomes. Basically some biomes are completely locked, which you can never see. For example, this ice biome, this was completely blocked. There is no way you can access that without terraformation, right? So stuff like that, it's pretty awesome. And at the fact that at the end of the game there is actually an ocean over here is pretty insane. I never really thought this was an ocean. I thought this was actually a bug. The map is behaving weirdly. Sometimes there are some bugs which I see in the map, but I thought this was actually a bug when I saw this. But when I went here and explored, basically this is a beautiful biome with like waterfalls everywhere flowing from the top of the mountain and going into the ocean. And basically this is an ocean. That's awesome. So that sort of stuff. The entire thing, it's if you compare when you start the game map versus this map, it's day and night difference, and that's pretty nice to see. And how the progression is sort of locked behind your terraformation stage, not like physical wall, like a physical blockage which the dev has put intentionally, but it's like a purpose behind that blockage, and the way you unlock it is basically how you play the game. And through the terraformation index for in this context. So yeah, it's really neat, very well thought, I think. And I don't think I would have ever thought of that sort of an idea. But yeah, once I sort of just thought about it in my spare time, it was like I felt like it was a very, very good idea, very neatly thought and nicely put idea behind this game, and it works really well. I have enjoyed this quite a bit. Um, and at the end of the day, let me just go to the top over here. I probably have went here like twice. The observation deck that I have built over here. So yeah, what else? What are my other thoughts? I think that I have covered most everything else. Oh yeah, one other thing is basically the world. Basically, you unlock these creepers, right? As you melt stuff, you plants grow, creepers grow from the top of the mountain. Then you are able to climb those creepers and access new areas. Like it's very organic. It's not like anything that is way out of ordinary. It's very well uh, mixed with the world as to how you unlock them, and it's yeah, very nice. So yeah, that is my final thoughts of the game. This is a I think I'll gladly recommend this game to anyone, specifically for people who are just trying to relax and play a game without thinking too much. They just want to have a fun time after like probably working the whole day. Just go back home, play a fun game, which is not like too hectic, not too competitive, not too taxing on their mind. I think this is the game to go. This is very fun. Uh, you lose track of your time sometimes while playing this game. So it's that sort of game, and it's very fun. You can put countless hours into game. Of course, I think I went through this game a little bit quickly, meaning that so whenever I play this sort of game, I'm like, okay, what should I do in this? What should I do now? Do that. Okay, next, what is that? Do that. I don't usually take time to think and stuff. I just quickly do that. So probably some people might take it a little bit slower, in which case this game might be a lot longer for some people. But I think even still, I think this is a beautiful game. People can play at their own pace. But earlier, like I said, early game, things might feel a little bit too much because you'll start unlocking too many blueprints right at the beginning at once, too many. And we will get overwhelmed sometimes. But yeah, apart from that, I think everything else is totally fine. The pace of the game is fine. And yeah, everything. It's an awesome game, and I would recommend it to anyone. Yeah. So that's my final thoughts for this game. Awesome game. I'll gladly come back to this when there's some major update or some DLC, anything like that. I'll definitely buy it and play it again. But for now, I think I have completed everything. Only thing left is the other ending, which I need to probably play like 10 hours to get 500,000 space credits, space tokens. That's not easy. It's very, very hard. It's just going through the portals, doing those wrecks over and over again. And there is that sort of an end game, which is interesting. You can basically play it multiple times. Although I won't say you can play hundreds of hours in that sort of an end game, because it does get boring after a couple of wrecks. It's not too different of a layout between every single wreck. It's basically a maze where you just get lost in those wrecks. So it's not too fun in that sense, but there is still an end game if you really want. So yeah, with that, that's my final thoughts video. Yeah, now I'll be ending the stream. Thank you, everyone. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.